Hey guys, what's going on? So I wanted to give you some tips and hints during this lockdown period, time when everything's being cancelled. I was doing a marathon series, I'm still doing running, but that's obviously been knocked on the head, as has everything at the minute with this COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak. So coming up, 7 ways in which we can stay fitter, healthier, and avoid putting on those pounds over the next coming months. Welcome back guys, and thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, it really means a lot. 90% of people that actually watch my channel and watch my videos aren't subscribed, so click that button, click subscribe, and don't forget to go and check out on my Instagram, my page, where I post regular health and fitness posts and updates and things like that. So let's get into this. What I wanted to do was look at ways in which we can stay fit and healthy in this current lockdown period and environment. I've been working from home for nearly 2 weeks now. My wife's pregnant, and so one of the things that I'm doing, I'm sort of hovering around 75 kilos at the minute. I was like conscious of putting like weight on, so I've not got it on now, but I have like a fitness tracking app which tells me how many steps I've done, and I have been doing exercise and getting out. But one of the things I've noticed is I've been binging a lot more. It's easier to eat under boredom than it would be previously, because you're constantly in the house. There's like food constantly available, and so with that comes some challenges that I wanted to discuss on how we could counter those with ways of ensuring that we don't go from this to this. Okay, so I made some of these in my recent Instagram post, and the first one is staying active, and that does 2 things really. I think we need to be getting outside to enjoy the fresh air, but obviously within the confines and restrictions of what we're able to do. 10,000 steps is the sort of figure that sometimes people have in their head that they need to do to stay fit and healthy, but I tend to find if you're doing other bits and pieces, you may not have a home gym, but you can do some workouts, because the internet is just array with different types of workouts and how you can do that. I think you aim for 6,000 steps. And if you do 6,000 steps a day, I think that's a reasonable measure to say that you've actually been reasonably active. It's not like 10,000 steps, I think, something akin to like 10k. So if you're going for a run and you're doing bits and pieces, you do 10,000 steps, great. But if not, 6,000 I think is the goal that you should be aiming for. That doesn't take too much. I think half an hour, 40 minutes of walking plus the stuff that you're doing in and around the house will get you to 6,000 steps. So if you do that, you'll ensure that you're staying fit, healthy, and also getting some fresh air, because it's not good staying in the house and confined to that environment all the time. Tip number 2 is something that I've been doing recently, and it's worked really well for me in terms of losing weight from 85 kilos, which I was, down to 70 odd kilos, and that's time restricted eating. So what I've been doing is, rather than having all my food within a full spectrum of the day, 24 hours, I used to wake up 7 o'clock, I'd eat my food, like 9 o'clock I'd be snacking, eating ice cream in front of the TV. You just put weight on, and so I heard about all these intermittent fasting things, and you do this, restrict this, 12-8, 4-8, whatever these different windows are. What works for me is waking up and not eating for the first hour. So if I wake up at 7, not eat until 8 o'clock. It just gives your body that little bit of time, gives you a little bit of a window where you're not constantly indulging. Then what I do is I stop eating about 6, half 6. I'm not super strict, but ultimately that gives me a 10-hour window where I'm eating, but I know I'm having my last meal at 6, so I stop eating big volumes of food, and I know that is my window of opportunity for eating. So I eat whatever I want in that window. When I say whatever I want, I mean whatever I want. I don't have a big appetite anyway, as it happens, but what it enables me to do is eat the foods I want, enjoy them, and then ensure that I'm keeping my calories low, because ultimately after 6 o'clock I'm not eating, so there's a big window there. Tip number 3, just in terms of staying on top of your weight loss, real basic strategy, and that's just weigh yourself. Now, you can fluctuate up and down with water and carbohydrate weight and things like that, but generally speaking, I say if you're within a 1 to 1.5 kilogram window either side of where you want to be, then it's manageable to bring down. If you start creeping up above that, then you need to integrate more exercise or cut your calorie consumption down. Tip number 4 is run or do like a fast-paced walk 1 day a week. You might want to take your steps up to like 10,000, which means that you're actually keeping that cardiovascular system up. You're pushing your lungs to take in more oxygen. You're improving your overall aerobic threshold. And so going for a run, even if that's an hour, really light pace, doesn't have to be anything crazy, something that you should be doing to improve your fitness and obviously stay fit and healthy during these challenging times of lockdown. Tip number 5 is allow for some snacks. I give myself a 200 to 250 calorie snack window a day, which means that after my lunch, if I want a chocolate bar, if I want something else, then you know what? I'll just go and get it. That's okay. I kind of like the fact that I can have a chocolate bar, have something to eat without feeling guilty. If that's within my time restricted window of eating, then it's all good anyway. But yeah, I don't go crazy. If you're one of those people that can't just have one chocolate bar or something like that, then maybe best don't do it. But if you know in your head psychologically that you can have a 250 kilogram snack, then I think that's happy days. Everyone's good with that. So make sure you look at the calories, look at what you're eating, enjoy your food, and don't restrict yourself within reason. Tip number 6 is just, being mindful of the guidelines. So don't be going out and doing anything crazy. Within an hour, you can really do some decent kind of cardio. And also, if you're going out for an hour, that doesn't stop you from doing a half an hour workout at home. There's tons and tons of stuff out there. Just go and have a look. You can do Les Mills online. You can get some official paid stuff. You can get loads of free stuff. Loads and loads for you to go and check out. So make sure you structure and don't just restrict yourself to, because you've gone out and you've done a walk or whatever, not being able to do any strength and conditioning stuff at home, because there's loads you can do with your own body weight. And lastly is something that I'm really poor at, and it's one of those things, don't take your own advice, and I tend not to do this sometimes, but you need to be drinking lots of water. 2-3 litres a day ideally. But the key thing, I always say this with water, is consistency. So make sure that your water intake is consistent. When you fluctuate up and down, what tends to happen with the body is your body doesn't know where it's coming and going, and it can you'll find if you drink lots of water in the first instance, you'll start to pass it quite a lot. But after a period of time, that tends to stop because your body gets used to it. Your body needs to stay hydrated to be fit, healthy, to do an unbelievable amount of things that you probably wouldn't even imagine that water kind of impacts on. Well guys, that's your 7 tips for today. I hope you found that useful. Don't forget again to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you on the other side of this crazy pandemic and time that we're getting through. Don't forget to post your comments below on how you're staying fit and healthy during this time, and I'll see you in the next video.